Hello everyone, I'm providing some important questions in Introduction to Python Programming. First I go with first module. In this module the first question is list the salient features of Python programming language, explain the following with an example, print, input and len. The second question is explain the following with an example, elif, for, while, break, continue, if and else. The third question is what are functions, explain Python function with parameters and return statement. The fourth question is define exception handling, how exception are handled in Python, write a program to solve divide by zero exception. Fifth question is explain local and global scope with variables for each. The sixth question is explain string concatenation and string replication operation with an example. The seventh question is what are user-defined function, how can we pass parameters in user-defined function, explain with suitable example. The eighth question is develop a program to generate Fibonacci's sequence of length, read n from the console. The ninth question is develop a program to read the name and year of birth of a person. Print whether the person is a senior citizen or not. The last question is develop a program to compute binomial coefficient, given n and r. These are the important questions in Module 1. If you want the full PDF of passing package, first subscribe to my channel and then follow the link in the comment box. Next I go with second module. In this first question is explain the use in and not an operator in list with example. The second question is what is list, explain the indexing, slicing, index, append, remove, pop and how the list can be converted to tuple, insert and sort with suitable example. The third question is write about mutable and immutable data type in list. The fourth question is explain all the list methods with example and also explain list concatenation and list replication. The fifth question is differentiate between tuple and list and dictionary. The sixth question is explain the example get, heap, values and items methods in a dictionary. The seventh question is explain set and set default method in a dictionary. The eighth question is read n numbers from the console and create a list, develop program to compute and print mean, variance and standard deviation with messages. The last question is develop a program to read the student details like name, USN and marks in 3 subjects. Display the student details, total marks and percentage with suitable messages. Next I go with third module. In this first question is explain the concept of file handling, illustrate with example opening of a file with open function, reading the contents of the file with read and writing to files with write. The second question is explain how to save variable with the shelf module. The third question is explain the built-in methods available for working with string along with example. The fourth question is explain join and split methods with example. The fifth question is explain the concept of file path, also discuss absolute and relative file path. The sixth question is explain the role of shelf module in working with files. The seventh question is explain password locker project, illustrate the different steps in the project adding bullets to wiki markup. The eighth question is explain in and not in operators in string and give a explanation about paperclip module. The ninth question is read a multi-digit number as chars from console. Develop a program to print the frequency of each digit with suitable example. The last question is develop a program to sort the contents of a text file and write the sorted contents into a separate text file. Next I go fourth module. In this first question is what are assertions, write the contents of an assert statement, explain them with example. The second question is explain are the different methods of file operations supported in the Python shuttle module. The third question is explain the buttons in the debug control window. The fourth question is write a note on raising exception. The fifth question is illustrate the logging levels in Python. The seventh question is explain the following file operations in Python with suitable example, copying files and folders, moving files and folders, permanently deleting files and folders. The seventh question is list out the difference between the shuttle, copy and shuttle, copy tree. The eighth question is what is meant by compressing files, explain reading, extracting, and creating zip files with code snippet. The ninth question is develop a program with a function named divExpress which takes 2 parameters a, b and returns a value c, write suitable assertion for a greater than 0 in function divExpress and raise an exception for when b is equal to 0. Develop a suitable program which reads 2 values from the console and calls a function divExpress. The last question is develop a program to backing up a given folder into zip file by using relevant modules and suitable methods. Next I go with last module. In this first question is explain about class and objects and attributes with an example. The second question is explain about pure function and modifier. The third question is explain the concept of prototyping versus planning. The fourth question is explain init and str methods with examples. The fifth question is explain the concept of inheritance and class diagrams with example. The sixth question is what is polymorphism, demonstrate polymorphism with functions to find histogram to count the numbers of times each letters appears in a word and in sentence. The seventh question is write deck method to add, remove shuffle and sort cards, with illustrating the problem. The last question is define a class and object, construct the class called rectangle and initialize it with height is equal to 100, width is equal to 200, starting point is x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, write a program to display the center point coordinates of a rectangle. The 8th question is define a function which takes two objects representing complex numbers and returns new complex number with an addition of two complex numbers. Define a suitable class complex to represent the complex number. Develop a program to read n complex numbers and to compute the addition of n complex numbers, and don't forget to subscribe.